Am I the jerk for tricking my husband into cleaning the house? My 31F husband, 33M, and I take turns cooking and cleaning. Every other night he cooks, every other weekend he cleans, and vice versa. We've been married for 5 years, and we've lived together for 12 plus years. We both have full-time jobs, no kids, and 2 cats. My husband tends to deep clean the house with this intense motivation if family or friends are coming to visit us. Otherwise, on a day when it's his turn to clean the house, he really just does the bare minimum with cleaning, vacuum, mop and tidy. I've asked him a couple times if he can do a bit more during his turns, like dust, wipe down the counters, scrub the bathroom tiles, laundry, things I do when it's my turn to clean the house. He said he would try, but I only seen him do it a few times, then he'd go back to the bare minimum. Here's where I might have been in jerk. I noticed on Friday the house was messier than usual due to my husband having a few days off work. His junk food garbage piled up on the coffee table and the laundry needed to be done. It was my husband's turn to clean on Saturday, yesterday. I was worried it would be the bare minimum again, despite reminding him, and because the house was so messy and he would need to do laundry too, I decided that the only way I would get the deep clean I need from him was to trick him. That Friday night before bed, I lied and told my husband my parents saying they want to come over for dinner this Sunday because they'll be in town. He replied, "Crap." I knew he'd do a deep clean of the house, because we'd have family visiting, and I was right. Saturday morning came around and this man was up at 6 a.m. and didn't finish cleaning until 3 p.m. He cleaned the entire house, the laundry was done and folded, he power washed our driveway, and washed the outside of our windows. He went nuts, everything was spotless. I offered to help him, but he kept saying, "I'm good, hun, don't worry." I vacuumed the rugs to try and help anyway. When he was finished cleaning, he went to take a shower and I called my older sister, 33F. I told her what I did. She called me in jerk and said I should have just asked him again to do a deeper clean. I didn't have to lie to him. I told her I'll obviously tell him because mom and dad aren't actually coming over for dinner, so I won't be lying to him forever. But she called me in jerk again and hung up. I ended up telling my husband right when he finished showering. I felt so bad. He actually doubled over laughing and said, "Well damn, that worked, didn't it?" I apologized, but he was still laughing. Then he said, "Don't worry, it just means you've got the next 2 weekends in a row now, babe. Oh, and dinner's on you tonight." I laughed, said of course, and I ordered us pizza and wings. When I texted my sister later, I told her that he knows the truth and what his reaction was. She said I'm lucky he's not pissed at me cause he should be, and said it was still a jerk move on my part. Is she right? Am I the jerk? Am I the jerk for telling on my sister, which resulted in her getting written off from the will? My 21M sister Natalie, 20F, cannot drive and has yet to get to her license. She occasionally attends various parties held by her friends, but that has since been forbidden as our parents have been against it. It had happened after she once showed up inebriated and vomited all over the floor, upon which they said they have threatened to disown her / write her off from the will if she does that. Yesterday, she asked me to drive her to a party held by her friend Kate. I told her both of us would get into trouble, but she said she would just say that she's visiting her friend for some other reason. To make up for it, she said she would do the dishes for a week, and I won't tell anyone how much of a loser you are. And I'll pay you. I agreed to it. I drove her off after informing our parents, but while returning they told me that they had checked with the friend she had wanted to go to. She gave a different name to our parents, and that it didn't match up. She had claimed that her friend was recovering from an accident, which is why she's going there, but when they called up to check after we'd left, it was caught to be a lie. My father interrogated me and warned that if I was caught to be lying, I'd also get written off from the will and to not pay for college anymore. I had to tell them the truth. When she returned, they said they would think about disowning her, but that she's certainly being excluded from the will and that they're no longer her parents. She got mad at me herself, screaming for giving her out, but I told her there was no choice. Am I the jerk for telling my best friend I took a ride home from her ex? Context: my best friend, who I'll call Leah, F, and her ex-boyfriend, who I'm gonna call Jason, is M. One day during work, Jason walked up to me and our mutual friend, and we all started talking. This whole day I've had a migraine and wanted to go home. We were about to close up shop and Jason said, "Hey, I'm about to head out. Do you want a ride?" I said yes because I didn't have a car and did not want to take an hour to get home by bus. We got in the car and the moment I sat down I realized my mistake. I scrambled to find anything random to talk about to avoid him bringing Leah up into conversation. We talk about our colleagues, how the production is going, etc. At one point I say something along the lines of the people we work with are cool, but sometimes I wish they wouldn't stir up so much drama, and I guess that triggered Jason in a sense because he said, well, you're best friends with the most dramatic and gossip spreading person I know, and he began to ramble about how Leah spread allegations of him assaulting her. He proceeds to ask, do you believe Leah? I want to preface by saying I do believe Leah entirely, but Jason was in control of my life for the next 10 to 15 minutes until he could drop me off at my house, plus he now knows where I live. I did not want to make an enemy out of Jason. So I said, I wasn't there, so how am I supposed to know? I think it was a miscommunication and she was uncomfortable and tried to tell you, but you didn't get the hint and continued messing with her anyway. Not much happened after that during the ride to my house, and he dropped me off and I just sat and thought for a second. I just took a ride home with her ex-boyfriend who kinda fucked her up. Do I tell her even though I know she doesn't like talking about Jason at all, or do I just hope and pray she never finds out by someone else? I weighed my options and decided to be upfront and tell Leah exactly what happened. I called her telling her everything I just said, and she was silent the whole time. Once I was done with the story she said, I gotta go, and hung up. I texted her for a little trying to make sure she was okay, and eventually she asked for me to leave her be for a bit. She asked for space and she would contact me when she was ready. She messaged me saying she doesn't want to be close to me anymore like we used to be, but we can still hang out sometimes, and tomorrow she will give me my birthday gift. This kind of broke me, so we argued for a bit because I didn't understand why she wanted to be so distant when I considered it just a small moment. Now she doesn't want to talk to me at all. Most of my friends say I'm not the jerk because it's not like I slept with her ex, and at least I was upfront and didn't lie, but I guess now I gotta ask, am I the jerk? Edit, I did apologize profusely in not only the phone call with Leah but also through text. Am I the jerk for discouraging my boyfriend from trying to become a fitness content creator? Let me start off by saying that I love my boyfriend Bob and I think he's gorgeous. He's tall, muscular, strong, and thick in all the right places. I've supported him in all of his endeavors, but there's one that I feel I cannot support. Bob is a doctor and he's also really into the gym, so he wants to start a fitness account on Instagram and TikTok called Phoebify Surgeon. The issue, besides the cringe name and idea, is that most male fitness influencers are shredded with a body fat percentage in the single digits. Bob is in great shape, but he is nowhere near as shredded as he needs to be to get 1 million followers. He has a gut and love handles. I explained to him that he would be made fun of if he tried to start a fitness account, and then I'd be the girlfriend of the guy whose fitness account gets made fun of. I told him he should lose some weight and get defined abs before he starts, otherwise he should stick to replacing people's hips. He called me a jerk and then left the house. For the past couple days Bob has slept in the guest room. He won't talk to me and I haven't seen him eat anything. I haven't seen or heard him cry, but his eyes have looked red and puffy. I feel really bad because I never wanted to hurt his feelings, but I also worry his feelings will get hurt even more if he starts a fitness account. I texted my best friend who usually supports me on things, but she said I was totally the jerk. I trust her judgment, but at the same time I feel like I would have been a jerk if I let Bob start this account without saying anything. Am I a jerk, and if so, what should I have done in this situation? Am I the jerk for not apologizing after liking a picture of their crush? I, 18M, and my friend, 17F, have been friends for just over a year and met in university. Our friendship consists of making jokes and often insulting each other, but have an understanding that it is never personal. It is a platonic relationship, and this has been how we usually bond, through general teasing and playful banter. We have a few classes together, one of which she got pissed at me. Throughout this class she had been texting a guy. We are usually pretty open about girls/guys we like and often try help each other out. On this occasion I had asked to see what this guy looked like. She was reluctant at first, but showed me his Instagram page on her phone. She had told me she rejected this guy, but they still talk. I didn't think much of it and went to scroll on her phone to see other pictures of him. She didn't want me to touch her phone as she didn't want me to accidentally like his photo. I hadn't thought of it prior, but thought it would be funny to like one of the photos of him. She didn't take it well and instantly went silent at the time. I instantly started laughing. I mean, it's not like stuff like this hadn't happened before, so I assumed we would laugh it off. She lightly kicked my shin and dug her nails into my forearms, something she knows I hate. I didn't really react, but told her to calm down because I didn't think liking a photo warranted that reactions. Nevertheless, I laughed it off and waited until she was more calm to talk to her. A few minutes passed and I attempted to engage to try and resolve it and told her she took it too far. she started to raise her voice, and I didn't really want to make a scene, and so I looked away, and she dug her nails deep into my skin this time. I don't usually take disrespect like this, but to respect the classroom, I didn't confront her until the end. I told her she was acting childish, but she continued to parade me with insults before telling me she wouldn't speak to me unless I apologized. I understand that I may be at fault partly by my actions, but possibly misinterpreting the paradigm of our friendship. I refused to apologize as I believe she took it too far, and I'm not going to bow at her feet after she reacted like that.